What is up, guys? It is Max. I hope my mic is working okay. I just switched it because I've been recording a couple of videos and the quality was terrible, and it might still be bad, but I just wanted to get a video out there. Talk about CASI. It's been probably 2 months, I think, since my last video, something along those lines. Maybe not quite 2 months, but maybe a month and a half. And at one point, I think CASI was trading at like 125, maybe 120-ish. When I posted my last video, and then it spiked up to 175, 180, made a high of 184 in the pre-market late August on some insider buying from the CEO, about 480,000 shares. And so we went up, and I was up, decently. I think it was up about 8 or 9,000. At the time, I had, I think, 15 or 16,000 shares. Now I've got 19,980, so just shy of 20,000 shares. I've got a 1.33 average. So, I added a little bit up into the move, unfortunately, and then didn't sell. I'm not selling anything till at least 250. Ideally, my target's really between like 5 and 9, which might sound crazy, but those are really my realistic targets. But who knows? We'll see. We have some resistance, like even 3.9 would be nice. But we need to get above 2 first. So anyway, I just want to kind of get into a few things here. So we wrote it up. That was great. That was awesome. I said, if we saw some insider buying, we might see this thing hit 2. Didn't quite get there, but got moved all the way back down. A lot of China stuff going on right now with Evergrande and just a lot of bad sentiment or whatever you want to say around China. So I think that impacted it. Plus, just no real news. They had an Oppenheimer webinar. There was nothing new there. I knew everything they said, we already knew. So that didn't help. But anyway, all right, so I want to make this short because I have to get to dinner soon, but let me just kind of follow up on a couple things. So this CASI master file basically is still up to date. I mean, updated last the middle of September, but nothing's really changed. So this is going to be in the description. I basically put together all the assets here, all their different drugs that they're working on, along with some other information. So if you want to just get the Spark Notes version, most important thing I would read when you look at this is the economic situation behind each drug, right? So just kind of read this and find out, okay, is this a co-commercialization agreement, partnership? Do they have an equity stake in the company? How's it structured? So you can kind of go through each asset here, read through that. They're all pretty much with different companies. So you've got like Cleve Therapeutics, BioInvent, all these different ones, Black Belt Therapeutics, and Juventus, of course. So you can kind of check those out. I also posted, clinical trial data below as well with the links. These are other assets. Now, I will say Thiotepa, octreotide, and Zevalin, wherever that one is. Zevalin, these are all already FDA approved. They're just publishing the registration studies for their approval in China. I think they've already initiated the one with Thiotepa. I know that's coming this year for sure. If it hasn't already, I believe they already filed it. So anyway, those could be nice. Will it impact the stock? Probably not. CASI Wuxi, this is the factory that they're building. Just a little more information on this. There's not a whole lot out there about it, but that should be completed in 2023. It's a 100,000 square meter GMP manufacturing facility, which will come perfectly, in time with when their CNCT19 will be approved, hopefully. So I also just posted some brief financials. There's not much depth to these, mainly because I had to enter it all manually because for some reason it just wasn't formatting into Google Sheets. So if you want to really go in depth more on their financials, I would recommend going somewhere else, to view their financials. But I did just post those here if I ever need to check something out, quickly. But pretty good on cash. I have heard from some people that the way the chart's looking now, it could be setting up for an offering. I doubt that. I just don't see that happening. They've got plenty of cash. They've got about 70 million in cash, enough runway for at least 1 to 2 years. And I just don't think, with the CEO owning 15% of the shares outstanding, 22 million shares nearly. I did some rough calculations here, 22 million shares. 21 million shares. I don't think he's going to want to dilute this thing much more. Now, maybe they have something up their sleeve and they need some money to acquire, something or take an equity stake in a particular therapeutics company. Who knows? And it would kind of shake things up. So it's not, 100% a bad thing. I wouldn't want to see it, but personally, I don't think that's going to happen. So, and also too, based on all my, oh yeah, let me pull that up too. I might be under a different, one sec. Let me see if I can find this thing. I might have made this under a different account. One sec. Yeah, here. All right. So what I did one morning, or one day, but I took a few hours, went through every single SEC filing from the CEO, every single ownership, statement, and from 2012 up until now, and put together every single filing that he's ever, done with the SEC on CASI, and he's never sold. I just want you to see, he's never disposed of shares. He has done 2 gifts, so there have been 2 disposals in the filings, but those were both gifts. This last one was to a charitable foundation. This one, it was just a gift. So he's heavy in CASI. This guy's heavy as fucking CASI. I just want everybody to know that. So the CEO has been loading up, and a lot of these transactions, if you go and look, a lot of them aren't even options. He's paying cash for these shares at market price. So, with his own money. So you can go and look at those. And ETP is Emerging Tech Partners. That's his fund that he started. So some of these transactions are going, through ETP. Some of them are going through him directly. Most of the shares are in Emerging Tech Partners. All right. I'll try to remember to post that as well. So anyway, so I posted all the insider transactions here. You can go and look at that. Also too, this is basically just comparing. I wanted to kind of find some competitor analysis for their CNCT19 drug, and I found that there's Novartis has Chimera, Gilead, which is also Kite in China. Gilead acquired Kite, so which is now Fosun Kite in China. They've got Yescarta, which was recently approved in China for use, and both these drugs are doing about 300 million in sales the first half of this year, which is huge. That's why I know that the whole thing about CASI market cap, I don't really look at market cap that much, right? CASI's market cap is like 170 million, something like that. But when you've got a drug that you're very close to getting approval for, right? And it's looking very promising. The results are, the clinical trial results data looks great. And you're tapping into a market that is still very early on in in adopting, some of these cancer treatments, right? Like CNCT19. They're still in the very, the earlier stages of cancer treatment, strictly with chemotherapy and things like this. So when you've got a kind of a early stage oncology market, and that I'm not phrasing this properly, but you've got an untapped market, right? You're coming in with a drug that has shown great efficacy, great results. I posted actually some of, if you look here at the bottom. So in this study, they found that 95, there was, so the initial treatment pool of people was 20 people. 90% of patients treated reached complete remission or complete remission with incomplete count recovery within 28 days. 95% confidence level after a follow-up of 2 years. So I'm losing my train of thought, but basically it looks like a great drug, right? And it looks very close to approval. They got not the orphan drug designation, but it got fast forwarded through clinical trials. I forget what the exact name for it was, but breakthrough drug designation. I think that's what it was, breakthrough drug designation in 2020, December. So anyway, so I think China wants their own CNCT19. Everybody's worried about China, all this stuff going on. And yes, CASI is an American company that is operating in China, going after that market, which was, I think, a very strategic move for them to focus directly in the China market. But but I think China, because if you look at CASI's team, they're very intertwined with the Chinese government and with universities and hospitals in China. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're chilling. Even their 100,000 square meter manufacturing plant, they got like a $2 million grant from the Chinese government to build that thing. I don't know. I think China has CASI's interest at heart, or has their best interest. I think that that they want to have their own CNCT19, but at the same time, there are 337 company-sponsored CAR T therapy trials in China. So there's definitely competition. But the other thing too with Evomilia, which is CASI's drug that's already on the market, that's bringing in $15 million in revenue last year. It's going to be over 80% growth this year. They're going to kill it this year in Evomilia revenue. But the same people, same doctors, hospitals that they're selling Evomilia to are the same doctors, same hospitals that they're going to be selling their CNCT19 to the BI-1206 to. So they're building a sales pipeline already, right? I think people don't really understand that they're already building their sales pipeline and that they're going to be ready to approach these people when these other drugs, are on the market. So that's something to consider. But I mean, 300 million the first half of 2021 with these drugs, and people are talking shit about Chimera all the time, that it's not a great drug, So anyway, I think that the $170 million market cap, just one asset could be doing 300 million in half of a year. I don't know. Who knows? All right, just some buy and sell ratings. BTIG $4, Oppenheimer $6 now. Irrelevant, those. So anyway, so you can go and look at that. I'm going to post that below. Also too, I just wanted to show, there were, one sec, sorry here. So Oppenheimer, I just wanted to go over a couple catalysts that they're talking about right now. So Oppenheimer, $6 price target currently, nice. Now BTIG, I will say, CASI, the thing you have to realize with the current T-cell therapy, like Yescarta in China, it's about a $300,000 treatment cost after the importation. They have to ship and import the drugs, right? The T-cell therapy drug. There's nothing being directly made in China. No T-cell therapy being made in China. So CASI, their goal is to bring that treatment cost down to $80,000 per treatment. And BTIG said that if they can get approval for CNCT19, and if they can bring the treatment cost down to $80,000, their price target jumps to $21 per share, which is crazy. So I talked about that in another video if you want to look at that. But so current catalyst. So CID 103 safety data sometime 2021, second half of this year. Octreotide, Thiotep, Zevalin registration. I'm pretty sure Thiotep already happened. I heard the CMO talk about that in that Oppenheimer webinar. BI-1206 with BioInvent IND submission. This should happen, I think, December. I listened to the CEO of BioInvent talk about that. So it should be at the end of this year, Q4. Q4 NDA submission for their CNCT19. I heard the CMO say that may happen more likely in like January, first quarter of 2022. Approval of the CNCT19, probably closer to 2023, Q1 of 2023. So those are some upcoming catalysts. I'm hoping we get something that we're not really expecting though. And who knows? CASI's not the best at putting out PR. They haven't really done much, but let's get into the chart, shall we? All right. Here we are. Okay, so, we're looking at the chart. All right, so this is just a 4-hour chart. Don't mind these trend lines. It's all mixed up and messed up because I've been using a few different, so anyway, I think I drew this is probably on like a very large time frame. I think I drew this line on like the 5-year weekly chart. So this is the 5-year. You have to realize, guys, if you're new to trading or whatever, when you see numbers like this or things like this, right? This was actually kind of funny. They basically said they had a cure for cancer back in like 1999. The stock went up to like $1,000, but you have to realize there have been several offerings, right, since then. So a lot of dilution. So you should know this, but even since when the stock was $4 earlier this year, they did a big offering, right? So anyway, so do your research, look into it, look at the document below. This is kind of the chart. I'm hoping we kind of found a bottom here and kind of, inverse and start recovering. We did have a green candle here finally on Friday, but I think we've got a zone here we need to break out of and a couple other zones. So we really need to get above 2. I'm not going to get excited till we get at least above 1.8 and we get above 2. and I think we get above 2, we can get to 5 easily. Don't take my word for it, but I'll see you guys back here shortly, very shortly. All right, have a good one. See you guys.